But one way to think about abstraction is it's not a reinscription of something that is anterior to it. And I would like to suggest that this film is an abstract film, even though it contains images and images of people, and you hear words, and there's language, and there's people, and there's movement, and there's photographic images. You see, there's a photographic image of a photographic image, and you see, the hands of a living human being bring the photographic image into the frame, and so forth. But but the reality that it's a transcription of came into existence only when the camera was turned on. So there was nothing anterior to it, and it doesn't inscribe a model of reality that we know that follows the model of fiction, which is life as we live it, but made better. Life as we would like to live it, as Northrop Frye describes comedy. So I offer that as a proposition, that this is an abstract film, despite the fact that it contains representational images. And I know that this is a very polemical thing to say, but I'm willing to say it. We all know that there are things that we have been told are abstract films. And it finally occurred to me that I could be very suspicious of their claim to being abstract films, because if they are abstract, they're not abstract in the same way that abstract paintings are abstract, because in an abstract painting, forgive me for saying something so obvious, but this is the thinking I had to go through to think about this, and it took me a very long time to think about it. In an abstract painting, what we see when we look at an abstract painting, however you want to think of what it is that you see, it's embedded in a material form, so that it's both a material object and something that we look at as if it were an image, even if it's not an image. In fact, are composited one and the same thing. They're co-present with each other. And in film, this is the tragedy of film, I would say, to exaggerate only a little. The material form, the material origin, and what we take as the image are forever separated one from the other. So that films that we have been told are abstract, where you see, dancing silly putty or lava lamps, aren't really abstract films. They're pictures of abstraction, which is very different from abstraction itself. And my claim would be that even though this film, like every other film, is divided from itself, its materiality is separated from the shadow that material produces, that in representing the production situation, it does what it can to represent. It does as much as it can to embody in the image something of the materiality of the production, at least. Even though, in principle, it's a film like any other, projector here, shadow there, that it's trying to represent itself in a way that most films don't want to. So that's what I have to say about production stills. The last film, oh my gosh, sorry, I just thought I was going to be so brief, and anyway. Yeah, the last film is Parentheses, which is the last film I made. I made it and I finished it in 2003, after not having made a film since 1984. And I won't say anything about it except to say that it's 21 minutes long and it's silent. I wonder if that's fair.
You should say a little bit.
Okay, fine. Someone who's, I heard this wonderful piece of, like this wonderful malicious remark about this film was repeated to me. You know how that can be. Someone said, "Oh, Morgan," someone whose name I won't mention said, after seeing this film, "Well, that Morgan Fisher certainly doesn't know how to edit." Production stills is a one-take film, so the question of editing is suspended but then reintroduced by the guy who takes the pictures, or by the fact that there is a series of pictures which in effect become a kind of pseudo-film, or a parafilm within the film. So someone was performing something like the functions of a director, in that he was choosing the angles and the order of the shots and so forth. But it's a one-take film, so there's no editing, literally. And in the case of picture and sound rushes, there's no editing. It's not a one-take film. I performed as if it were, I performed continuously, but it was recorded intermittently. But in principle, it's a one-take film, I would say, because the temporal event that it presents reflects the real time of production. It's continuous time. Parentheses has something like 385 shots in it. So for someone who is loath to make the kind of decisions that editing demands, the question was how to construct the film. And that's the word I would use. I would say it was constructed rather than edited. So this person who said, "Well, that Morgan Fisher sure doesn't know how to edit," and I know who it was who said this, I'm pretty sure, in her readiness to make a snide comment about a professional rival, missed the point of the film, because it in fact is not edited, but it's constructed. It should be the same one.
Same one? Yeah. Last one.